are watching the #1 podcast in the whole entire YouTube wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juanzo.
And I'm your other host, John Paul Leck.
Together we are
Rope
Break, and Merry Christmas to every single one of you. We hope that you're enjoying with your families. We hope that you're having a great time. A different type of Christmas because of the pandemic, because of COVID, but in the end, we hope that you guys are enjoying some family time, either with Zoom or StreamYard, like we do. But so I want to say, happy Merry Christmas, Jean Paul.
Yeah, Christmas to you as well. Merry Christmas to the family and everything. But you probably got a lot of good gifts under the Christmas tree, or you got them in the mail, or you didn't because the postal service is more fucked than SmackDown Live. So you maybe didn't get your gifts in the mail. And speaking of SmackDown Live, was this a gift tonight? Was this a good show? Did we enjoy this? Was this, if you would have opened this under the tree, would you have been, oh, this is awesome, or would you have looked at Grandma and been like, I hope you have the receipt?
I remember that kid that gets and starts crying.
Yeah, it's like no, I don't want this.
I don't want it. Exactly. So thank you so very much for being with us. We have a special treat for you guys that is going to come out in a little bit. So be with us for that. Don't forget to check with Jean Paul, best booker in the business, AEW Dynamite review. Sting is ready. It seems like he's going to have a match, and also Kenny Omega is getting ready for Rey Fenix, his first AEW title defense. So we'll see what happens. This show was bad to average, and in that middle, it's not getting any better. And like you said, the one thing is why is Brandi Rose being advertised to have a match or something when she just announced that she got pregnant? But check that with Jean Paul. Great review. Now let's talk about SmackDown. This was taped, so now a lot of people knew about the spoilers. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about the show opened up with a cage match for the Universal Championship, and that was Roman Reigns defending against Kevin Owens. This match was actually, I'll tell you, so much better than TLC. Because it was just focus on the wrestling. I like the counters. I like the intensity, and Jey Uso kind of came towards the end. So I want to hear you what you think of that.
Yeah, I like this as well. I feel like I would have liked it more if we didn't just see the match at TLC. Or you would have just did this at TLC and not did the, stipulation match, just did a cage or something. Maybe don't name a title after or a pay-per-view after a stipulation like TLC, but then you wouldn't have to pigeonhole yourself to doing that stipulation at said pay-per-view. But anyway, this was really good. I like this. I like you said, the intensity, the Fisherman Buster from the top rope by Owens on Roman Reigns. That was beautiful. The one Owens hit the stunner was really good, and Reigns kicked out, but then also Kevin Owens kicked out of a spear. So you saw that it's these guys really wanted this championship. They were kicking out of each other's finishers. I really loved the spot where he had the guillotine choke on Owens, but then Owens was because he could choke him through the ropes, no DQ in a cage match, and then Owens choked Reigns on the rope to get out of the guillotine. So we finally saw somebody get out of the guillotine. I believe that was the first time, from Roman Reigns. So this was really good. And Owens, he had the match won, I believe, after he hit a second stunner. And then, Jey comes in, handcuffs him, like you said. This was right at the end of the match. Handcuffs him to the cage. Roman finally comes to. He looks, and he's like, this dumbass can't even get out of the cage. So he takes his sweet time walking out of the cage and stuff. And, this was good, but this should have been at the pay-per-view. The fact that this was just on SmackDown, no real build besides, earlier in the week, they're like, oh, this rematch, okay. But, we didn't see no promos. There was nothing beforehand. The show opened up, pretty much right to the entrances to the match. So it was good, but it felt like, like I said on NXT, I say, for all wrestling shows, if there's no build, if there's no emotional investment, how am I supposed to care? Now, we did have the lead up to this feud, but you thought Owens lost and it was done. Now he gets another match and it's done. So
he's more done.
Yeah, he's probably going to bitch like, oh, I was handcuffed. I need another rematch or something. And it's like, who knows? Like we had said about Daniel Bryan with what we saw later in the night, maybe they'll do him, then go back to Owens. I don't really know, but overall, just on match quality, it was a good match.
It was a pretty good match, and like I said, I like this so much better than TLC because Jey, the interference was just from the beginning during TLC. Here towards the end, and these guys could actually fight. Roman Reigns a few of the Superman punches. Kevin Owens did the pop-up powerbomb, then he countered the pop-up powerbomb. Like you said, I love the spot with the Fisherman suplex. That was absolutely great. So I like that Jey, like I said, in the end, because at least you give these two guys a chance to actually showcase their abilities. So good call on that. I like the end. I mean, the end. Of course, we knew that Roman is not going to lose the championship. That was not meant to be for this show, at least. So that's what we got. He retains. Kevin Owens, like I said, either he bitches, he gets another match, or Kevin, thank you very much.
With what we saw in the main event, I can't really have a winner on Raw. So to me, Kevin Owens would be the perfect Royal Rumble winner.
That would be cool. That would be cool. And then, and different, and people actually can behind Kevin Owens. Because of all this build and everything. Daniel Bryan was supposed to have the match at TLC. But of course, WWE, they have to change everything. They realize maybe, no, let's give it to Kevin Owens, and it turned out to be a better choice for them. So, thank you so very much for that. A great book in the business, Jean-Paul, right there. Let's move on with the tag champs. Charlotte and Asuka, since the tag champs can be in any shows, they just showed up over there. Why? Because remember, it's December, is Christmas. We don't have really a show to write. Or we just put whatever. And, we'll just put the champs are there. So they came out and they just got a promo because they were going to have a triple threat tag championship match, which it was good. But like you said, I would have wanted the Rider Squad to be there, but like you said, they're kind of saving them. Supposedly there's plans for them to be the tag champs at some point. So it turned out to be Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair, kind of like baby faces going against Bayley, Owens, and Carmella. Carmella didn't do the entrance that she did before the past 2 times for the pay-per-view and for the go-home show for TLC against the tag champs. Your thoughts on this? I enjoyed this match for what it was.
Yeah, I enjoyed this too, and it's like earlier in the show, people are like, "Oh, well, what didn't you just say that the show wasn't very good and all that?" It's like, don't worry, because it gets worse. It gets worse. Don't worry. But this was good. The only thing I didn't like about this is, you have the tag champs come out. And then it's a typical WWE main roster. They start cutting a promo. They start talking. Somebody's music hits. They come out. Okay, then that person starts talking. Then somebody else's music. Somebody else's. It's like, what was the actual scheduled match? Because all they said building up to this was the champs will defend on SmackDown. You didn't know if it was 1 team, 2 teams, or all the women on WWE going to be, a 40-woman match. You didn't know. And then it's just like, oh, we let all these women come out. Oh, I guess they decide it's now a triple threat. Like that's the thing. I'm like, who runs this show? Like I said, in NXT, they're like, oh, thank you, Velveteen Dream, for yelling at Adam Cole, because now we actually have a main event. It's like you didn't have this match set up beforehand.
It's like the wrestlers book the shows themselves. Yeah. Doesn't it sound like Kevin Nash and maybe Chico saying, main event, put me. I want to fight over.
Hey yo.
That's the part that it shows. It shows there's not really an authority figure. There's not somebody that can say, okay, this is what is going to happen. But you always have to set it up. The worst.
And I do like how they made it elimination. Unfortunately, it went a good while, and commentary even kept saying, still no eliminations. And then I don't know if she hit the KOD, but I know Bayley was down. And then Bianca tagged in Sasha, and then Sasha hit that amazing frog splash that she does.
That's devastating, right?
Yeah, that's Montez Ford. Take some notes, but she hits that and pins Bayley. So that was a shame when my girl Bayley gets pinned. But
done.
I mean, it's something where I think we're still going to see the Bayley Bianca feud. I think that's going to kind of set it up. And we did see Bayley and Carmella still trying to cause interference and everything. And they actually, I believe Bayley was the one who distracted Bianca when Bianca got pinned at the end. So like I said, that feud is still going to be there. And this thing with all these, women, are we really going to see Bayley and Carmella be tag champs? No. Are we going to see Sasha and Bianca? No, because Bianca's probably going to win the Women's Royal Rumble. Eventually there's going to be some kind of, with her going after the SmackDown Women's title. So, I think the belts are going to stay on these two until they face the team who we had mentioned that wasn't in this match, the Riot Squad. But overall, I thought this was pretty good as well. And like I had texted you, with the stupid match, stupid stipulation, all this stuff, it's hard for this match to be bad when 6 of these women are all main eventers. I'll even put Carmella in the main event. Maybe not wrestling-wise, but at least when she's in there with the other 5, they can kind of carry her.
And also remember, she was champion. And all. I agree with you. At the end, natural selection on Bianca, 1, 2, 3.
I did like that, though, when they distracted her, and then Asuka hit the code breaker right into the natural selection. I thought that's a good,
It's the way you set it up. You say signature with the code breaker, actual selection finisher, and that's how you're supposed to be done. And that's how you win the match. We have the girls, raising the bells right there. We have the tag champs and also the Raw Women's Champion Asuka. Good stuff. Now let's go to Sami Zayn, the Liberator. He's complaining. He's like, who made this lumberjack match? why do you do this? You know, he was.
I mean,
Really
I agree. That is probably one of the
stipulation.
worst stipulations ever invented in wrestling.
Bullshit. It's just, get the guys out so like they can be featured so their families can see them in the Christmas.
Yeah.
Whatever. So and then they had this awful shirt. I was Intercontinental Champion because they had the Street Profits just saying the card like whatever they was after the show. They have all the matches. They were talking about that. But this idea was a little funny for me because I was Intercontinental Champ. That was okay. I mean, I don't know what you thought about it, but at least I got a decent laugh out of this.
Oh yeah, no, that was funny, and it was the Street Profits. I heard them. They're like, oh yeah, my boy Sami Zayn. I'm like, they're Sami Zayn's their boy, or I thought, are they heel? Shouldn't they be cheering for New Day? Or I mean, for Big E? But this that was good. I like that. Sometimes they can be funny when they're not like shoved down your throat like they were on Monday Night Raw.
Maybe when they can be themselves.
That's probably it.
Script, yes. So now let's go to like this match. This was okay, and I like the winner at least because Jey Uso, he cannot keep winning or he cannot keep like being at the same level as Roman because he's not. He should be like the lackey, and what happens with the lackeys, Paul? They always lose. So Daniel Bryan was Jey Uso at the beginning of the match. Jey Uso attacked Daniel Bryan from the back, so there was a little bit of interference there. You can see the refs, so we don't want to have the match. I mean, but like then finally they got in the ring and they gave us a pretty good showing. I like this. Daniel Bryan looked pretty good, and Jey Uso, he's a good wrestler, and I think that he's starting to make a name of himself out of being a lackey. So I think that it was a pretty good show for both of them, and also Daniel Bryan gets more momentum out of this win with Jey Uso.
Yeah, I like this as well. This was a match that was kind of just there. I mean, the quality of the match was good, but again, we've seen these two wrestle before very recently. This feud is still ongoing and stuff, but I think the right winner here, Daniel Bryan, at the end, Jay goes for the super kick. He's like, how about you do a different move than a super kick? He dodges it, he hits the knee for the 1, 2, 3. So that was good. The right winner, I think, going into hopefully Roman Reigns' opponent at the Royal Rumble. Even though, Daniel Bryan said he's going to be in the Rumble. Did he not?
Yes, yeah. So like, look, the action right there was like pretty good stuff. But like you said, running knee. Right here, running knee right there for the win. 1, 2, 3, he wins. Everybody's like, finally Daniel Bryan gets something because I heard a rumor that like he's gonna stop being a full-time wrestler. He's gonna slowly transition to be like a writer. I don't know if you remember, there was reports that Edge and Daniel Bryan will helping out backstage. And out of the two, Daniel Bryan is the one that wants to learn the most. He's there all the time, contributing ideas. He wants to learn all the procedures, the systems of how to be on Gorilla, TV, all of that. While Edge is just more on this day. He's running around, all spearing people. So his transition to be part full-time to part-time, and maybe just to just be backstage for the WWE. But until his contract expires, he just announced that he's gonna be entering in the Royal Rumble. So that is kind of I want to see where this goes because I hear also rumors that he's supposedly fighting Roman. He's supposed to be fighting Roman at the Royal Rumble, but if he's announcing that he's going to be in the Royal Rumble, I don't know if they're going to play both, be in the Rumble and also for the title. We'll see what happens. But he got a promo saying that he wants to go win the Rumble and go to WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, I would have, because I don't think he's going to win the Royal Rumble. I think it would be better for him and have more impact, at least story-wise, for him to go against Roman at the pay-per-view. But I mean, if you're, they can always change. He can say, "Oh, I'm going to be in the Rumble." They can start some feud. He can be like, "Oh, I'm going to go after Roman now," and it's whatever. Because, like I said, he wasn't probably going to win the Rumble. I think there's a very good chance it's going to be somebody other than Daniel Bryan. But I mean, this, we'll see what they do. Like you said, it definitely makes it interesting. Is Roman even going to defend at the pay-per-view?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's another good idea. I agree with you. So we got Sami. See, with the big liberator, right? The two Sami awards. He says, he blames Daniel Bryan for all the injustice things that had happened in the past. And he said, karma, you'll get karma at the Royal Rumble 2021. So you see, maybe Sami can be doing something with Daniel Bryan. You see the teases right there. They're planting seeds right there. So maybe an interaction between these two. Or maybe he calls the match with Roman. You never know. But at least you see that, in the future, a rivalry between these two one more time, but at least Sami this time fighting is going to be good. So now,
and what would make that rivalry even better if maybe the Intercontinental Championship would have been still on the line. But take us to the main event, and then
Yeah,
we can discuss
and like you said, we're gonna go pretty fast because like the main event was just a quick show, and that's how Roderick does it. Quicker, but to the point, and we enjoy it, and the quality is 1,000%, not even 100. There you go, lumberjack match. Like you said, I cannot recall, a good lumberjack match. They're all like clusterfucks. It doesn't make sense. It really, doesn't let the wrestlers showcase their ability. So let's hear from Paul.
This match would have been a lot better if it was just a normal singles match, just the two of them in the ring. I love Sami Zayn, the character, the in-ring, everything. Big E's really good. I like the in-ring, the character. When he's serious and he's on, he's on. But like when it's, let me rub my nipples and like gyrate the hips and all that crazy. It's like, that's when it's like, okay, like let's see the serious Big E, because serious Big E, I would make my world champ. But this was good for just everything in the ring, the two of them. But on the outside, you look at all these guys. You see Nakamura. You see, I believe that's Kalisto there, Cesaro. Yeah, and we saw who did we see? Apollo Crews. Yeah, and I love when MVP's like, oh yeah, you're just going to be drafted to SmackDown again, and you're going to become bullshit. And Apollo Crews is like, no, I'm not. Now look at him. Yeah. Drafted to SmackDown, he's bullshit. Otis, all the only guys. The only guys who are like legit out there were the Street Profits. You saw Ziggler, and I think the Forgotten Sons, Corbin's new bodyguards were out there. Which, do you remember that storyline when they did that for 1 week and then haven't touched it the past 3 weeks?
Yeah, that's pretty super. And you know what it is? Supposedly the old man forgets that he's going running with that storyline. So he completely forgets. He's like, oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Let's go back to that.
But, yeah, every time, Big E goes out, the heels, Ziggler, Rude, I said Forgotten Sons, they beat him up. And then when Sami goes out, when he was trying to run away, the baby faces were like, don't be bullshit. And they threw him back in the ring. But I think a match, just the two of them, like I said earlier, would have been so much better. I love the spot where Sami had him set up in the corner for the haluva kick, and Big E hits the Uranagi. Really good stuff. But it was just, as soon as it would get going, the lumberjacks would interfere, and that would take me out of it.
And see, you see the cannonball spot right there, really, really cool. And then there was a spot that Sami was leaving the ring, and then the lumberjacks brought him back. And that set up, like you said, for the big ending. 1, 2, 3. Big E gets the championship. He's the new IC champion in the Continental.
The way that they were acting, I thought he was the NWA champion of the world or something. They were holding him up, and there was confetti, and all the baby faces were like, duh.
I never seen the celebration this big for just the IC championship. Did he win? Did he win the World Series here? Did he win?
No, if they're trying to make the IC belt relevant, then okay. But they're not. I'm not going to be like, oh, well, maybe this will be. No, I don't have faith in WWE anymore. I'm just going to say this was all just to be in your face, to everybody point and laugh at Sami Zayn. And this, maybe this is setting up for something. Maybe, I don't know, get a triple threat or something. But the way they celebrated, I was like, why wasn't this at WrestleMania? This was just an episode of SmackDown that was pre-taped that probably not a lot of people watched because it was at 9, 10 o'clock on Christmas Day.
Yes.
So not a lot of people watch. So
yeah, and they said, you can see right there, he's like, I did it, and he's hugging Corey Graves and all of that, and then you see like you mentioned Lex Luger right there winning the title that he never won, but at least this guy has gold around him. So right there, everybody's just really.
Now I don't have a problem with Big E being IC champ. I just wish you would have made this feel more special. Did it at a pay-per-view. And, Sami Zayn, I just hope they do right by him. I hope he doesn't just fade to obscurity, because he was finally, I feel, getting on a roll, or finally getting really hot again with this Intercontinental Championship. And then, first big feud, loses it to Big E.
Oh, yeah. No, that's not just, I don't like that either. I even said in the TLC, the Espanol review, I even said, don't do that. Don't put the title on Big E. It's not a good idea. Sami Zayn is giving you such a great run.
Yeah, at least not yet. At least not yet. Big E deserves it, but not this soon. You could have really made, drag this feud out, because who are the heels that Big E's going to defend against? I can't think of any heels. Maybe maybe Angel Garza. You're not going to turn Daniel Bryan heel unless you want to do something Jey Uso, so him and Roman both have gold. But then you don't give it to Jey, obviously. But maybe that. But otherwise, who? Corbin? Does anybody want to see that? No.
We haven't seen the Mysterios in 3 weeks either, so maybe they're getting a break. We haven't seen Aaliyah. We haven't seen Murphy. So all of this these shows are completely lost. But I keep going with the saying that Jean Paul mentioned is once the Royal Rumble hits 1 January, like finally everything resets, and it's like, okay, actually, let's be serious about this. This next week is also going to be pretty funny. It's not probably tape also. So, like, I can just say you that because there's the 1st of January, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. But in the end, are we happy? We feel bad for the Liberator. He got a bad Christmas, and, we feel really bad because, like you said, the run he was having was absolutely great. So, thank you so very much, family. We hope you enjoy Christmas with our families. We hope, like you said, get a lot of presents, maybe some PS5s. The one gift that we want. Please help us out with the page to grow. We know we have great content for you. We want to keep bringing you great content. So please, hit the subscribe button, the bell for all notifications, and where else they can find us.
And also follow us on Rope Break on Facebook, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, the original Rope Break on Instagram, and of course, right here on YouTube, home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the original Rope Break.
Thank you so very much. Tomorrow, Jean Paul and I have the Rope Break Awards 2020. We're going to be crowning every single one of the main performers of this year. So, be with us. We're going to be live. So, we're going to be in the Facebook channel. So, be with us for that. We're going to be talking about everything that summarizes this year. So, you and me have one more thing that is left to say. And that is...